One of the reasons why I hesitated to pick up the Osmo Pocket 3 is because I already have the Insta360 X4. Here's the Pocket 3 right here. The reason why I held off on getting the Pocket 3 is because the Insta360 almost could do it all, right? It could shoot 360 footage, but then it can also do single lens. Now that I have both, why don't I try putting them head to head? And just right off the bat, from a arm's length distance, it seems that the Insta360 captures a lot more in frame, so you do see a lot more of my environment. And let me see, I'm gonna switch over to vertical mode. Both cameras are shooting in vertical 9:16. The Insta360 is still shooting at, I believe, a 4K resolution, while the Osmo Pocket 3 says that it's now down to a 3K resolution. But if I'm primarily shooting for Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, I don't think it really matters as long as it's above 1080p. Normally for vertical videos, I edit the videos in a 1080p format. So 4K and 3K, I don't think it's gonna make a huge, big of a difference. But I don't know if you can see, but yeah, even in vertical mode, the camera is still a lot wider on the 360. You see a lot more, but it does have more of that action film look to it. Whereas with the Pocket 3, it looks a little bit more like a, not like an action cam. I don't want to say proper camera, but just not action cam-like, at least from the preview. So one thing I do think the Insta360 has the advantage of is shooting in freeform mode. It basically shoots in a more square aspect ratio or more by like 4:3. So later in post, you can choose whether you want horizontal or vertical. So you can just shoot once and not have to worry about switching back and forth. But the problem is you have to still process that to export it as a horizontal or vertical video. Right now I'm doing a side-by-side comparison of both the Pocket 3 and the X4 in vertical mode. Framing is a little bit difficult since I'm just hand holding both and not having them on like the same rig or gimbal. Okay, so now both horizontal, just doing the same panning motion. I think you'll notice the action cam look that the Insta360 X4 definitely has. I think 360 cameras will probably all have this type of look to it because in my opinion, the 360 camera is effectively like the evolution of the action camera. So you want to try to capture as much as you can. Whereas with the Pocket 3, it's a little bit more controlled in the sense that you control the framing a lot more intentionally versus with the Insta360 or 360 cameras where you want to try and capture as much as you can. I mean, it's basically capturing everything when you're filming in 360 mode. We'll just do a quick side-by-side, just walking down this path. So I am shooting in D-Log mode on the Pocket 3, whereas with the Insta360, I'm shooting on an X4 Vivid, which that reminds me I should probably turn it off just to see what it looks like for a more equal comparison without color grading. Everything's set on 0 EV, so as balanced of an exposure as possible, so you can really get a side-by-side comparison of someone who doesn't want to do any color grading, how this footage might look. I switched both to the vertical mode just to show some comparisons in the framing. On the screen itself, it seems that the Pocket 3 is a lot brighter. The shadows looks to be lifted, whereas with the X4, it's a lot darker on the path. After trying both of these side by side, I think, while yes, I could have done everything that I needed to do with the Insta360 X4 that the Osmo Pocket 3 can do, I think the look of it comes out just a little bit different. They're both different tools that have both their strengths and weaknesses. Again, with the 360 camera, it's typically more of a action cam look and feel. While I'm traveling, that's not necessarily the look that I want. And if I shoot in 360, there is a little bit of post-processing editing that I'm gonna have to do. Whereas with the Pocket 3, because everything is shot in a traditional like 16:9 or 9:16 flat video footage, I don't have to put it through a specific software to unstretch the footage or to keyframe or reframe. Realistically, I don't think the Pocket 3 is going to replace my Insta360, but I think what's going to happen is the X4 and the Pocket 3 is going to replace the FX3 or the Sony cameras that I bring with me while I travel, because having these two cameras is just so much simpler and so much lighter to carry with. Sometimes it makes me wonder if it's worth it to even carry a mirrorless camera anymore. Obviously mirrorless cameras or the DSLRs have their own strengths of being more of like workhorse cameras, getting things done, attaching microphones or any other sort of accessories. You could build out that kit, and you could also switch up the different focal lengths. Like I have the FX3 with not only the 20mm prime, but I also have a 50mm prime that I want to shoot here, because just the 50mm 1.2, that's going to give me a different type of look that the Pocket 3 and the Insta360 just can't provide to me. So I'm facing a bit of a dilemma and a crisis of what my travel camera gear setup is going to be, but I think for sure the Insta360 X4 and the Pocket 3 are here to stay in my kit for a good while.